appreciate this, taking the time out of your day to come and talk to us. And it's going to be fun. So, like you said,
really,
yeah, just we're just having a conversation. So yeah, let's start out a little bit by you telling about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am the only girl with 4 brothers. So at some point I was a tomboy, but all of my life I was spoiled. They were taught to spoil me. Even as adults, they spoiled me. To their kids, I'm still special because I was the only girl that was there. I was loved, but I still kind of grew up in the shadow, which is why I told you earlier that I kind of melded into. If we're not talking Jesus, I kind of melded into the background because that's kind of, you know.
And were they all? They were all older than you,
Mike
right?
was younger.
Mike was
Everybody else was older. Mike was 3 years younger than I am. But everybody else was older. It was okay. It was okay. Nobody knew me. Let me say it like that. It got to the place where I had to tell people my name because I kept getting introduced as, you know those Thomas boys? This is their sister. And I would have to say, I have a name.
Right.
My name is Cecelia. I have a name. And that wasn't fun. But of course I was proud of them. We were raised in church, and so we were a close-knit family. From the time Mike was, I guess, 3, my daddy began these treks in and out of the hospital. So that kind of was different from what we were accustomed to, but we had such a strong mother that she still managed to get it done. With no jail time, no expulsions, no, you know, none of that. Because we also had, like I said, that strong family life. I'm a 74-year member of Bethlehem Baptist Church here.
Oh, okay.
Because except for Commerce, it's the only place I've ever lived. And I commuted back and forth from there. So we had strong, and neighbors were different back then. So, you know, everybody helped. Miss So-and-so could make you do right. Mr. So-and-so could tell you go home, and you had to go home, you know, like that. So I had a good life growing up. And like I said, I was spoiled. So I got them in trouble. I got them in trouble. And thank God I married a man who also decided to spoil me. He did a good job of spoiling me, and that works really well until they die. And then you find yourself by yourself to try to, you know, start coping. But it was good.
So did you guys play pranks on each other growing up?
Is that what you call it? Pranks?
I should say that's what me and my sisters often did.
yeah, we did. Oh, we used to fight. Let's see, it would be like I would fight Mike and Earl would fight Jimmy, you know, and stuff like that. And we played softball in the house, and we did all those kinds of things that you're not supposed to do.
Oh yeah.
We did that. We stole pears from the man next door. He called the police on us one time. I mean, the tree was leaning over in our yard, but he called the police on us one time for stealing pears that were hanging over. But it was good. Yeah, it was good. Mine was different from theirs. Not only was I the only girl, but I left the first year of integration. I left and went to the junior high school that was literally across the street from my house. And so their experience, I missed something. But I still had I had a good life. It's good.
Now, did they grow up as kids playing football, or
They
was that
played
something-
everything.
Played all the sports.
They played everything. Baseball. Before my dad got sick, he would help coach them with the baseball team. And then we'd have to produce birth certificates because they said they too big, they old, they too old to play little league, and they do, you know. So we had to. They lived through all of that as well.
Right.
But yes, they played played everything. And let me put this footnote about my oldest brother. He retired from the Air Force. So he served his country for over 20-something years.
Okay.
And because he was 10 years older than Mike, he was gone for when they were doing all of that they were doing.
Right.
Yeah, he was already gone.
Yeah.
So but you had to know him to know he was a part of it. But he retired from the Air Force 27 years.
So growing up, were all of you, okay, you all played sports, even you played sports, were all of you, I know our family, we were competitive. Were you guys competitive playing against each other as well?
Well, not. I don't think so. Well, we wanted to win, but it was not, I wouldn't really say it was competitive. It was just, we got to beat them kind of stuff. I mean, I know that's competition, but not to an extent that would cause any, no.
Right,
No.
yeah. I guess I just always remember, wanting to win.
Yeah, well, everybody wants to win, but not, it never caused any friction or not anything like that. But, we were just who we were.
You said sometimes you thought of it as being a tomboy. My sister was too, because she grew up with brothers. I grew up by myself. And I miss all those sports and all those things they enjoyed because I was so much older. And go back and tell me a little bit more about being like a tomboy, having fun with sports.
Well, I mean, I didn't have that much fun with it. I was just exposed to all of it because it was always there. And I guess I really was melded into the background as far as, what was going on. And I still don't do a lot of talking. And like I said, if I'm not talking Jesus and it's a group, I'm quiet. I am quiet. Now I can talk Jesus all day.
But we're gonna go around to that.
But anything else, I just, it's just kind of who we were. And I don't know really what that meant to other people. It's just who we were. And we were close all the way. They're all gone now, but we were close and we stayed close. They had lots of friends. There were always people going and coming. I can remember one time Mike was home for off season, and we were at Mama's house, and he had little girls at this point, and they started coming, and she probably was 3, maybe 4, and she looked around and she said, "It's too much man in this house." It was just too much for her at one time. But they always came when they came home, and they had their friends that they hooked up with, and that kind of stuff never changed. It's just.
Do you remember the trophies when they first started winning the trophies in school? Do you remember the different trophies and the excitement? You get really excited when you win.
Well, yeah, and we were proud of them, extremely proud of them. But this may sound strange, but that was not ever the forefront of who we were. That's just what they did. And it's what God gave them to make a living. And so they used it that way, but it was like, they're going to use you, so you use them to get where it is you're trying to go, or what you need, or whatever. Because, sports, that's a business. You get tied up with this and the other because they'll trade you today and use you tomorrow, that kind of stuff. So you use that. That's what you have to make your living. And that's kind of the way it was looked at. It's just what they did. Mike was exciting. Mike was exciting. He was just different, and he was exciting.
Which one? The baby.
The baby. Okay. And we have another one now. This is his first year redshirted at the University of Miami. And when he was like Mike, the family thing was, we've got another mic.
That is good.
Special. We've got another mic. So we shall see. He was with all of his little sports and stuff growing up. And so now he's there. And so we shall see. But he was always moving differently like Mike. The boys always said, you know, Mike was just different. And Mike said he had to because he grew up under those brothers. And so he felt like he had to perform and do and do all that kind of stuff. I don't know how much they loved football. You know, they watched it like everybody else. They, you know, but I think it basically was a tool to get from point A to point B.
See, that's a good thing.
You use it, you know, you go to college, then they were fortunate enough to go pro, and I remember back when they were playing. I mean, that was back in the day. There was no money. You had the fame and stuff, but it really wasn't necessarily nowhere profitable like it has become over the years. But it was a living because when you came home, everybody still had to work, you know, and keep stuff going. But they were fortunate with their bodies and stuff because a lot of people got hurt and everything. And my mama always said it was because she fed them. And she said these kids now get broken up and everything because they eat too much fast food and all that kind of stuff. And she said, I fed my boys. And so their bones and things were strong and they didn't have a lot of injuries. So that's what she said. That was why.
How did it feel when they were drafted? Like, both, how did they feel and how did you guys feel as their families?
That's exciting. That was extremely exciting. Because, I mean, just like this, things changed. They just, they changed. Because now you're not just the Greenville boy. Now everybody's going to know who you are, kinds of stuff. So then now you're on the spotlight too.
Right.
With what you can and cannot do, whatever. But it was exciting. It was exciting. They had the support of our village, the village. They had the support. They, to my knowledge, they didn't have to deal with there was no jealousy or hatred or anything like that. They had the support because these were the people we had known our whole lives. So, but it was exciting to be able to go to the games and, you know, be in the stands and see all of this, and then your people are out on the field running or going on until we were in Dallas one year, and the Redskins were playing Dallas, and my brother happened to be home on leave, and of course Mike was running. And you're getting all of this killing, you know, the stuff that you get with football. And my brother, who you had to know, stood and said, I work for the United States government. They pay me to carry a gun. Do not make me work on my day off. Oh my gosh. Because they were doing what fans do. You know, get him, get number 22, do so and so, so and so. And it was like, oh my gosh. That's who he was.
That's the non-player.
But that's who he was. So it's like, you know, these people can't enjoy the game now. You got people upset with you. Don't make you work on your day off. Kind of stuff. But yeah.
No, they just,
we were that much too. I mean, you know, that was us. That was us.
You talk a lot about Mike, but you haven't said anything about Earl.
We haven't said anything to him. Well, like this kind of. Earl was a businessman. Earl was a businessman. And I wish you had known you were going to ask me these kinds of questions, because I still have the magazine where one year he made more money than any other black-owned business in the country. was on the cover of the magazine, and yeah, down in Houston.
Okay.
He was in Houston.
This is Earl. Okay.
That's Earl.
Do you
He's
still
in
have
Houston?
some of the
I still have that magazine. I know
for this
somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. It was an oil business for years, and he employed a lot of people. He did that. He also led the building of a senior citizens home through his church down in Houston. As a matter of fact, when he died, we had just gone to Houston because he was trying to do something else for boys. He was trying to, and so we had gone to this meeting with all these people in place. I wish I could, please remember I'm 74 and it kind of goes sometimes. But he stayed very active in the community. He worked with the concussion protocol stuff with the football thingies down in Houston. He was working with that. We used to call him JR. Remember J.R. Ewing?
Yeah.
We used to tease him about being JR. Because
Businessman.
he definitely was a businessman. And yeah, very highly successful and just
That's good.
just a real. Jimmy worked in, once he got out, what is it, over in Fort Worth at, oh my gosh, what's the big plant in Fort Worth? He was,
The
GD?
what?
General Dynamic?
Yeah.
Defense
That's it.
contractor?
Yeah, that's it. That's where he retired from.
Okay.
There, from working there. He was there a long time. Yeah, so, like I said, they were successful. As far as I know, everybody did well. I'm the only preacher in the bunch, but I think they did well. My parents did well. There were things you just did and other things you did not do.
It was
You just did
understood.
not do. I mean, it was understood. Everybody went to school. Everybody went to church. There were just things that they didn't have to be said. You just did those things. My mother was, I can remember in elementary school thinking, how can she be here? She has to work. And yet there were, room parties and all this kind of stuff. She could always show up. One point she was PTA president at our elementary school. She worked with PTA in our high school, Carver, and all, she was just always there. I couldn't figure out how can she do all of this stuff. And Daddy was sick and in and out of hospitals and stuff like that, but his presence was always there. Yeah, his presence was always there because he was Daddy.
Yeah. I think it's so good because you said y'all got that basic training. That way it's understood. They know.
Oh yeah.
I think that's so good.
Yeah.
We need it now.
Oh yeah.
We need that basic training.
But we had families back then.
Yeah, we did.
There were families. I have racked my brain thinking, and I only knew of 2 people who didn't have a mama and a daddy. Everybody had a mama and a daddy when I grew up. And so there really wasn't that much of an issue with what you would not do because the expectation was in place.
I noticed that in Greenwood Bay.
Yeah,
I
everybody had a
insisted.
mama and a daddy. So, they parented you and you just knew what to do and what not to do. At least you knew not to get caught doing it. Let me say it like that.
Man, that was be a nightmare. To come.
Yeah.
People would just rather go to jail than go home. So I don't want to go home. I know when I'm going to get there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no, this is them. Not me. This is
Okay.
them. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Next.
Did your dad encourage their sports?
Yes. And when he was able, he would help coach them. he would, back before integration or what have you, he and another man from our church would pile a bunch of kids on back of pickup trucks and drive us to Garland so we could go swimming, and all. Very involved in it. Yes.
Great.
And active. Very.
Did they have any that you can remember? Any, I guess, mentors that they looked up to, whether it was football or something else, or
Earl, the businessman. Always wanted to be like one of the deacons from our church. His name was Claiborne Flinoy. Mr. Claiborne had a business. He had a dry cleaning business down on Johnson Street. And why that stuck with Earl, so I'll never know. But he wanted to be like Mr. Claiborne. And was. And was. But that was his model for the business world, was Mr. Claiborne. Now, Daddy was a car mechanic. He could fix anything. And that's what he did. But he wanted to be a businessman. And Mr. Claiborne Flinoy, who went to our church and all this and had his own, he was his model.
That's so good.
So, I don't know.
and okay, and then the opposite, as they played or stopped playing. I remember one became a coach.
Jimmy.
And yeah, and then
UT Arlington, that was
so
Jimmy.
did they then? I know he would have gone on to mentor kids. Did the others also do the same, or did they kind of, once football was over, was it kind of that was it of that part and went on to the next thing?
Well, let me see. Jimmy did that part, but Earl was always involved with kids, boys clubs. Earl was always involved with that kind of stuff, pushing somebody to do something.
You know, that is so good, because I hear people, even here at this Boys and Girls Club, the guidance and support they really get from the adult support. And so I think that's wonderful. I remember the Big Brothers and the Big Sister program. I think they had it in McKinney when I used to work there, but that was another excellent program. And I don't see them as much as I used to. They're cutting budgets up. It's really disheartening when we need this.
We've gotten so selfish and set apart now till we don't look out for other people.
You know, but it's heartbreaking.
It is.
Sometimes, even my neighborhood, we don't know our neighbors. We used to, but we don't know our neighbors now.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I know my neighbors. I know a lot of people don't, but I know my neighbors and stuff. But yeah, they kept working. They did keep working. Probably Mike not as much as the rest of them, but of course, Mike was blessed with all the girls.
All the daughters. Oh yeah.
Girls and stuff. But
I was trying to get the young one, the youngest one.
Yeah,
Mike.
he has sons too. But,
Okay.
and one of his sons is, well, both son and grandson. Mike has a son and grandson that are both educators and coaches.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
educators and coaches. Spencer is at Carter in Dallas.
Okay. I know Carter.
They came here and played Sulphur Springs for a playoff game. We got beat, but anyway, we all to see. Spencer is at Carter, and little Spence is here at the middle school. I want to say the middle school.
Really? That's good. What a legacy.
Yeah, those are Mike's kids.
Okay.
Yeah. What did Earl's? Those are the only ones I think that are. Earl has grandkids. Lord, let me not forget that.
Okay.
Because that's his grandson that's at Miami.
Okay. Oh.
And his granddaughter went to Louisiana, and she played basketball and got her master's playing basketball. And I wish y'all had told me what you did, because she's on Facebook with her points and all of that stuff more than anybody else to come through her school.
Oh, okay.
So playing basketball.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you still can get it to us.
Well, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't hear about it.
Hard to know where the conversation's going to go.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
know.
know.
I know it is. I know it is. But
Yeah.
anyway, so they have, you know, they've played, but as far as the level, it's going to be Earl's grandkids that have continued to carry the mantle.
Oh, that
For the
is
most
it.
part, yeah.
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 I wonder if they care of you. We had pictures of them or anything.
Probably not. They wouldn't care.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't think so.
We're looking for magazines, pictures, something we can put in our display case when this video will be on temporary exhibit.
Okay.
To, you know, people don't want to just watch a video, they want to look
Right,
at pictures. So
right.
if you have pictures, magazines, any kind of memorabilia that you can loan us, we'll give it back to you too.
I probably have less than anybody in the family. But I know I have that magazine with Earl.
Okay.
I've got, what else do I have? Oh, this is awful. Because what I was talking about, like Taylor, oh, that's on Facebook.
Okay.
Her pictures and stuff where she was, yeah, and that is on there.
And she would be Thomas as well. Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just look for Thomas.
Yeah, that's Earl's granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
And his grandson that's down there. And like I say, Spencer and Little Spencer both here. Well, Little Spencer's here and Spencer's in Dallas.
Yeah, South Play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Okay.
Can you think of, when thinking of your brothers, what are some of the proudest things you are of all of them?
They're good men.
That's good.
Good men.
Mm-hmm.
Providers for their families, leaders in their household.
Oh, that's good.
Good men. Good men. Yeah. They raise their kids, good men.
I was thinking about your mom when you said that. Providers and to take care of their family.
Yeah.
That mother guidance.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. But like I said, we had good parents. I guess just about like everybody did back then. We had good parents and they guided us. And my mother said she always said that her kids would do better than she did. And like they could play sports. They didn't have to go to work. You know what I mean? They didn't have to. They had paper routes, things that they could do in the morning and wake the whole household up when they overslept. But as far as having to have jobs and stuff like that, they never had to do that so that they could play the sport. I don't know how they managed it, how my parents managed that, but they didn't have to have jobs and they had the free time to develop. Maybe she saw that's what they were to do.
That's what I was thinking, you know.
To earn their living, that was how they had been gifted. And it had to be home for them to be able to do it. But, and I guess I never really thought about that. They never had to, had to work. Even with Daddy being sick and in and out and stuff, they never was hungry, never did without anything.
It's the wisdom of our parents.
Yeah. But she did say she intended for us to do better. She rode me until I went to college. I didn't want to, but she rode me until I went. Best thing I could have done, but I didn't know it at the time.
Did she help your brothers also succeed in football, the sports world?
Well, actually, to the extent that it could be done, she played basketball herself.
Wow. Wow.
Way back in the day.
Okay.
So I guess she saw it because, we used to tease her about it and stuff. So, yeah, they maybe she saw it in them. I didn't get it. I did not get it.
Yeah. When you said she played, I know, back in the 20s and 30s, they did play the women. They had women's basketball.
No, she didn't play like that. I just mean,
yeah.
running around schooling and all this kind of stuff, bragging about how good she was.
And school, I know they had women's and school. Then later on in school, they stopped
Cut
it.
it out.
cut it all out. I missed it, but my sister got all the sports.
Yeah.
I don't know the years they cut it out either.
Before
I'm
my time,
thinking-
we played.
It was no sports for women. We only had PE.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my sister came along at all sports. Yeah.
No, I didn't really do any athletes. Where I live, we had this nice thing for roller skating. Roller skates and bicycles. That's about the extent of my exercise stuff. Those two I did. But I don't know. It's just what God gave them, and then they used it to be who they were.
I can't remember when they were playing pro. Did any of them play against each other?
Yes.
Did they?
And I don't know, Jimmy's wife probably has that picture. They took a picture of Earl and Jimmy together. San Francisco versus Chicago.
Okay.
And they had on the different color uniforms and everything standing side by side. Yeah, they did that. I think that's the only one that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But there was and it hung in Mama's house until she died. So that's why I think it went to Jimmy's house.
Okay.
He and Earl.
Because I can see that being both fun as a parent and also nerve-wracking because you're like, you want them both to win, but they can't both win.
Yeah.
You don't want the one brother to tackle the other one and cause him injury.
Oh, listen. They used to upend Mike so when he was little. And I can hear Mama now, y'all better not hurt my baby. Because they'd have him, they'd be on their knees and they'd have him, come on, Mike. And he'd just get out, he'd go, they'd cut his legs from under him, you know, and he'd get up and go back and come back for more. So I think they kind of saw it all the time in him. But there was no competition of any kind like that. Everybody just pushed everybody to be the best that they could be.
You know what I think about? They always say the second child is different from the first child. But you have 3 athletes coming out of your family. That's really...
And the baby was the best. He was.
Yeah, you would say, well, the second child is more academic and more artistic, the second child. But in your family, it's so different. That is so amazing.
They were special.
Yeah.
But I was just fortunate to be born into the family.
You would push to the side. Now,
No. They didn't do it. It's just that other people did. They, oh gosh, no. Oh gosh, no. They would never. And you know. And even when I met your friend.
I wonder how they got along.
Oh, fine.
They did,
oh,
okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did fine.
Okay.
But before they met him, you know, I even got, now you make sure he knows you've been raised. And you don't need any help with COVID. You know, I thought, he is not like that. But they were still that protective of me, even that late in life.
Yeah, that is good.
And even as a teenager, I had him tell me, he said, you just want me to hit you so you can tell your brothers. I said, I said, you already know what they're going to do to you if you put your hands on them. You already know. Stuff, you know, like, because I knew they had my back.
That's so good. Now, while you're talking about you, tell us a little bit about your growth, the things you achieved in life.
We had that conversation before we started. I had a 34-year educator, all in Greenville, and it was good. I was late going to college because I really didn't want to go, but my mother just kept insisting. So I was 30 before I actually started for any. To do any good. You know, I think by that time I had 18 hours in and out and in and out. And so I was 30 before I went. And then I stayed until I got a master's. But I did my 34 years here in Greenville. Started as an aide and I wound up being a counselor and graduating lots of good kids who I went to have a will done. had to redo it. Once my husband died, I had to redo my will, and went in this office, and I walked in and I said, I know that face. And she looked at me and she said, Ms. Barr, and she had been one of my students that I had before. So, it was successful. I had lots of wonderful kids. I was talking to him about his. I knew I had his. He didn't know I had him, but I did. And so it was wonderful. I loved the experience, and I loved my kids. They were fearful at first, because you have to be tight, and then you can loosen. That's the only way that works.
Yes.
But I loved my kids, and I loved what I did. Greenville was good to me as far as that is concerned. I never thought, in my classmates, when they found out I was a teacher, you, Cecelia, you teaching? And it's like, oh yeah, I know. I never thought. But I asked God, what should I do? And that's how I got into education. I never would have thought that's where I would wind up.
Yeah, but you're still blessing so many people.
Yeah, but it was great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I had some wonderful kids. I had some hoodlums. I had some, I had
That's
all
my
kinds.
kids.
I had all kinds, all kinds. But I watched the success stories that come through, and when they come back. I had one student who worked for, he's trying to go to the moon. Who's the other man that's...
Musk? Elon Musk?
Is he the only one? Seemed like there was somebody else. Anyway, one of my former students was working for this company, trying to make these satellites and things to go up. And he came to town, and he came running. He said, I told him I can't leave till I go see Miss Barr. I had been his counselor. He said, Miss Barr, I'm so happy to see you. And it just made me feel good. And I thought, oh, you are doing so well. Just all of the success stories. Because with 4 years of counseling, the struggles. And when you get them there, and then they go on and have graduation night was like parent night for those of us that were counselors, because of the struggles that they had gone through individually and all that kind of stuff, to get them there. And then you show up that night and they're all in cap and gown, and everybody's story. Those that had it easy, and those that had to struggle, those that tried to quit, and you had to pull them back, and it's just wonderful. So I guess education is where I should have been.
Your mother.
It worked well. Yeah. But it did. It worked extremely well.
And maybe wait until you were 30. It's probably been you're more mature then, at that age.
Oh, I was serious about it then. Beforehand, I was just playing. I actually looked at my high school transcript one time, and I thought, wonder what I could have done had I really tried. Because I didn't. I didn't. I did not. And it could have been some of that shadow stuff that I wasn't aware of. That I just really did not. But once I went to college, I stayed on the Dean's List and President's Honor Roll.
That is good.
Not to brag, I'm in the Alpha Chi National Honor Society before, but it was only when I went back serious to do that stuff. So it took a minute, and then and from that, and now I'm licensed and ordained minister. My life is wrapped around. That's why when I slid in here, what I did, because I got ready to leave, on the phone rang. There's always a ministry. There's always something that has to be done. And so, I thought, oh, I can't be late. I cannot be late. So I was just flying coming out here. But I also had to take that call and deal with that. And that's my life.
Did you get into ministry after school? You stopped school, then you started ministry?
No, I was already doing them both.
Okay.
Before I left, I was doing them both. I think I probably always did it and didn't know it. My mama always had me up from a little girl on. I've always been up at church. And I tease them now and I say, I've done everything over here but be a deacon and pastor. I mean, you know, because that is my life. That is my life.
And that's with Bethlehem, right?
I'm sorry.
With Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
I'm trying to think who
Red
else.
House.
I know some other people that go there. I'm trying to think who.
The Red House.
Is Edward?
Who?
Is there an Edward that's pastor there?
Johnson.
Micah Johnson is my pastor. But and we just
I
celebrated
think
100
Gloria
years.
went there. Did you know Gloria Bailey?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh
Oh,
gosh,
she was-
yes.
I loved her. She was worked at our front desk for several years.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's who
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of.
She like me. She grew up there.
Yep. She knew everybody.
Yeah, she grew up there. She was like me.
Always positive to everything. You know, because she worked with us at Metro Mall years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she
always.
was at Bowie, I think it was, for a long time.
Oh yeah, she was there. But that's been, even your friend and I, you know, he was a deacon there, so we worked together.
That's
Yeah, we were. I did chaplaincy at the hospital for 3 years. So it's kind of, so they did their thing, and I guess I did mine as well. Just different.
Well, I want to put in a little note. Cecelia is a wonderful speaker, Christ-based. I mean, she is fantastic. If you ever get an opportunity to hear her speak, wonderful.
God's good,
Yes, yes.
and He has been.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to think of it as you look forward and look backwards. I have picked up you said things were good, and there was a lot of guidance, and I feel like you're proud of the things that you're accomplishing through with your family. So how would you wrap up, if you had to wrap this up, how would you wrap it up and say, these are the things that happened, but I'm really proud of this and the next things. Okay, how would you wrap it up? Because you told us with your brothers, it's been just a lot of fun. They protected you. You know, you're the little favorite sister, only sister.
yeah, I did when I was cussing them out. Behind mama's back and stuff like that.
How
Yeah.
could you say, this happened, so this could happen, this is great?
Ooh, I don't know. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
I would not trade any of it. I don't think, because it made us who we were, and it made me who I am. I had them all for a long time, but when they started leaving, they left so fast. And it's just like I'm not over this one, and then there's another one. Yeah, they, you know. What my oldest brother was here. He left in 2002. Jimmy 17, Mike 19, Earl 20, and my husband 21. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, you know, but it still made me who I am. I'm grateful for the parents that we had. They were not educated, which was why they were pushing us so to be, but they were Christians. And so they brought us up to look to God for everything, all things and everything. And He's proven Himself faithful. So it was good. It was good. Of course, I'm like everybody else. I wish they were all still here.
Yeah,
But
they
that's
were all
just-
pretty young.
Yeah.
You know, they were.
Yeah, but that's just not the way. Okay, I've outlived. I've been here longer now than everybody except my mom. Everybody except my mom. She stayed for 76 years, and I'm 74. So but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. They were.
Mhm.
It's just who we were. And then with Jim,
Mhm.
those boys just kind of they pulled him in, and the thing about it is that when my mom first met him, not first met him, but after she got to know him, she said, "That man loves his mother. He will be good to you."
That is so good.
Yeah.
And he used to go home every year to see his mother.
That's what she said. She said, "And he will be good to you." And she was right. She was right. Yeah, that's Betty's friend. She worked with him for years. That's how I met you. Was with him.
Because somewhere, we met,
Yeah, that's how I met
It's
with
been
him.
40 years ago. No.
Well, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true because he and I were 40 years
Uh-huh.
together and married. We were 40
So,
years.
then,
Yeah, so it's been that long.
She had,
It's been that long.
yeah, it
Yes.
has.
And so I wouldn't trade that for anything. I wish I still had it, but I wouldn't trade it. It's just, this little country girl in Greenville, and I've had chances to travel and be around famous people and whatever that means. Famous people, and and God's given me opportunity. I've stood to speak in California and around, so it's not just here. So I don't have complaints.
Oh, that's good.
I can't do it. He's been too good to me. So I don't know.
I'm thinking about when you said your brothers went to all black school and you started integrating like maybe the 6th grade. And I know the kids that Albert was around, I was one of the kids stayed with the black school. I didn't want to go. So we had choices. Then when we no longer had the choice, it was in '67, we was like thrown in. And I think the brothers who went through this segregation, who was the star, I think they have more wonderful experiences than what we did later on.
Now, my two oldest brothers finished from Carver.
Okay.
But Earl went to Greenville High School and finished his last year. I guess it was just his last year. That was before they shut Carver down. Mike never went to Carver.
Okay.
And I only went 1 year. But my two oldest graduated from Carver. But Earl, Mike, and I all graduated from Greenville High School.
And it seemed like the ones from Carver, because when I visit with them and do things with them, there's such a pride they have to call them.
They do. I left, and so they just added to my feelings of alienation because I didn't belong here and now I don't belong here.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said I kind of meld into the background when stuff is going on like that. Not that I didn't have a good experience, because I did. I did.
Yeah.
But as I got to be an adult, I realized I just never belonged because of that. Yeah.
So you went to Carver?
1 year.
1 year. Do you have any stories of Carver?
I wasn't there long enough. I wasn't there because the next year was you could opt into integration, and junior high school was, like I said, literally across the street from my house. I grew up right there where Juice is now, right there on Spencer Street. So I chose to go across the street in the 8th grade. So in my reunions and stuff like that, a lot of times it's just me, but it was always just me. So,
yeah. But I still see people just have a little animosity now because they think they missed out on the black experience.
Well, they did on what was the black experience. They did. Yeah, they did. This was the first time I didn't go to the RWC reunion. I made every one. But I didn't go this time. But that's because my age, more so than. But even at that, although I had a good time and everything, unless it was specifically with my classmates, even at RWC, I still didn't.
Feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like me. I've been here so long, people think I'm from here, but I'm not.
Yeah.
When I do things with the group, okay, what's this class of 73, you know, because I had to join in with them.
Yeah.
I still don't feel yeah.
And my class was 68, and that was the first year of, quote, forced integration. So they lost out because they all had to come this way. And at one RWC reunion, we were all together because you tend to do that. And we had a meeting of my class. And one girl said then that she said, this group needs counseling.
And I believe it.
Yeah, well, I never thought about it, but she was
Yes.
right. Because they were seniors and they were forced to leave their school and go somewhere where they felt like they were not wanted, but they were still forced to go and had to go to school. And she was right. That she said we could all use counseling because we've been traumatized.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm talking now, we've been out of school 20, 25 years or whatever. And it made sense. It made sense that
and when I go back to the class reunion, you may see 4 African Americans there, and they had the same. So I was forced to go there, and it was trauma.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, I wasn't forced. I just decided. But when they shut the school down, that forced
They forced us
from that point on. So like I said, Mike never went to Carver because it was closed. Well, it was an elementary school.
Yeah.
So he hit 7th grade like I did, cross the street.
No discussion.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you go.
Yeah.
But, that would have been traumatic for that. Because even volunteering to go, it still was traumatic with. And so you went, okay, I'm not the one. I saw somebody at a banquet not long ago, and they were asking me about somebody from my class, and I said, oh yeah, I know him. And he said he was so scared of you when you came to, and I thought, oh my gosh. But I went in with, I am not the one.
That attitude.
Don't try it, I'm not the one. So I really had a good experience. It's cool. I only had 4 brothers, so I had a good experience. But yeah, I'm not the one. Don't try, I'm not the one.
That's good.
So, but yeah.
So one good thing we agree on, those of us who were forced are still traumatized. A lot of us are.
Yeah, I think so. I do. I just had never heard it said before. And when she said it and thought about it, it's like, okay, yeah, it's okay.
But how do we go back and do it?
Well, you don't. You just accept what is, and you determine to live your life, and you live it. That's it. But yeah, I think probably most people in that situation had some issues that probably need to be dealt with.
I still agree, and I bet it's all over.
It is not just here. Oh yeah, period. I think period. Yeah, and you don't know how many people have dealt with it either. I'm sure a lot of people have had to. But I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I had a strong family life, had a strong church life. My mother's thing was, while you are no better than anybody else, you are just as good as everybody else. And she taught us that. She taught us that. And Gloria said to me one time, she said, see, you know how to take a room. She said, you can take a room. But it's, I think it's just how I was raised. It's just how I was raised.
So I like the idea of just give acknowledgement to a wonderful parent.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful mom and dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah. And then and then all those others in the neighborhood and the church people, because when I came along, everybody was your parent as far as telling you what you could do and could not do, but they lived up to it.
yeah.
They just lived up to it, and so you respected them like that. And but we were fortunate. We were fortunate with, God gave us the right parents to handle all of this.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's probably the main thing I think we miss out on more now. Like growing up, I knew all my neighbors.
Oh yeah.
All your neighbors knew you.
Yeah.
But now you really don't.
They'll tattle on you too.
Mm-hmm.
Who about your neighborhood?
Oh yeah.
They'll tattle
Oh yeah.
on you
Oh
too.
yeah.
You got a whooping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If so and so did that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Then you got to go get your sweat.
Yeah. And don't say I didn't do. Oh, Miss So and So's lying on you. You calling her a lie? No, ma'am. But
Go get the sweat.
yeah.
I used to hate that trip.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And you know I got some of those, but I don't remember. So they couldn't have been too bad, because I do not remember.
I remember getting that
I
sweat.
don't. My mama tells me one time, my dad spanked me one time. She said, and you screamed and hollered, so he didn't hurt you. I don't even remember that. I don't. And I know she got me too, but I don't remember it.
Wow.
So none of it hurt me. It must have just hurt my feelings. Because it should, I think I would remember if I got some of those that I heard people got.
Oh,
I
God.
didn't get any of those.
You
We
had
did.
you had the brothers to see what's going to happen to them, and then you say,
But my mother said, she said nobody was going to beat and mistreat her kids. So, I mean, I just had the right folks.
That's good.
We had the right folks because, she had a stepdad that was mean and hateful. And she said, no, nobody. Nobody.
That's good.
So,
That is so good.
that had a lot to do with how we were raised.
And look at the success. That's so good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. She
Wow.
was special.
Well, I'm gonna let you close this out. So if you had to close this out, what would you add that we missed?
Oh gosh, have we not covered the globe?
I know we have.
I don't know. The only thing I can say is that I don't know why. I don't know why God chose the family for me that He did. But I know it was His doing and it was for His purpose. And it worked out for our good because we always trusted in Him. We were taught to. And while everybody else, I hope, had a good family life and all of that, I know I did. With the loving parents and stuff that God gave us. So, I wish I still had them all, but I'm grateful for the time that I had them. Yeah.
I was gonna let Susan close.
That's all I can think of. But yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, when we get closer to the exhibit, I'll